Hi everyone, welcome to Tech Down Over. I'm Rick Zanotti coming to you from Camarillo, California. And Jeff Blanchard is joining us. He's in an undisclosed prison location where they are torturing him because he didn't have his mask on the other day. He's in Melbourne, Australia. A scary place to be according to our news right now. Hi Jeff.
Oh, don't say good morning. So don't say that. I've had my mask on. I've been a good boy. So I said it's Jeff live from the colony.
From the colony? Wait, no, what was it called? The Village.
The Village. Yeah,
remember Patrick McGowan? The Village.
That's right, the Village.
Oh,
yes.
Gosh. They're going nuts in Australia. My gosh, these people are beating up people. They beat up some woman the other day. They strangled her. It's like, what are they doing?
Hopefully we'll get back to some normal life eventually. So.
I can't believe people are putting up with that. They broke 3 cars, their windows, and pulled people out of them. They've gone insane. Anyway, joining us in studio will be Harold Muliati. He's doing the video production. He's our video producer, and we're ready to go. Today it's going to be about, well, we'll show you another movie we just finished, and we're going to talk about reference speakers and why you need them. Here we go.
This show is sponsored by Relate Corporation. Digital learning development, media development, corporate video, management consulting, and more. Visit us at www.relate.com. Thanks.
And we are back, and there is Harold. Hi, Harold.
Hi.
And what a week. We're in a heat wave right now. It's been pretty hot here, and we have more fires in California than we have intelligent politicians. No, that's not true. No, I'm just kidding. That could never happen. But anyway, there's a lot of fires all over Northern California, Southern California. It's been a bad heat wave. There's a lot of areas around us that are about 109, 110 degrees. Some got up to 100, almost 30, a little more inland. Yeah, it's been bad. It's been real bad. Fortunately, our AC in the office and homes are holding up, so we're good that way. But it's been pretty hot. You guys have had the other issue where you have had all that. At least on the news, we're seeing lots of enforcement of COVID. And that's kind of scary. I gather you're not driving very far outside your home.
No. Well, that's one thing. I've filled my car up with petrol or with gas, as you say, about 6 weeks ago. And that's the last time I've filled up. So I'm saving a fortune on gas.
Oh wow! How far is the market from you?
Oh, about 2 minutes.
That's not bad. Not far. That's good. Because you're allowed to shop. You're allowed to shop, but you're not allowed to go beyond your area. That's what we heard.
That's right. Yeah, 5 kilometers. But
yeah,
being truthful, apart from going to work a lot of the time, I don't do much more than that anyway. So it's not affecting me too much.
Yep.
You say may drive.
Uh-oh.
Did he get cut?
Wait a minute.
They heard him. They heard him. He might have been just taken away. Hold on.
I think that was our connection, actually. Cause
really?
I was checking the Facebook stream also, and it froze. It just froze up. Wait. Darn. What's going on?
Did you go away?
Okay, we're back online.
Jeff, are you there?
He's probably it booted him off. So he's probably gonna have to reconnect.
Right.
If you just saw us, our stream stop and then come back, I think we may have just had an internet
There
issue.
you are. It just died all of a sudden. We thought they took you.
No, because it said the host had an internet connection. I thought it was me, but it was you.
Yeah, it was us. So we had a problem?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Something happened on our end. Not sure what.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, let's see. Let's see if we have any information
from our... But like you were saying, Rick, as I said, we've been stuck inside all the time. It's made it, use our technology and our equipment a lot more. So that gets probably onto your subject today was about your reference speakers that you were talking
about. Well, yeah. We were talking about reference speakers because you know, a lot of people are spending money buying, you know, what they consider good speakers, and they go out and buy Bose and others, and they are nice speakers, but they're not the best speakers for voice or for meetings or just to hear anything cleanly. You have a pair of Yamaha reference speakers. They sound really clean.
Mm-hmm. And that's the point of them. So other speakers, like when you put headphones on, and a lot of time it sounds really nice, but it pumps up a lot of the things, and it's not how it actually sounds. It makes it pleasing to what you want it to sound like. Whereas sometimes people say these reference speakers don't sound as nice as these other. No, but that's how it really sounds.
But I think usually they sound better. You know, here's what happens when you listen to too many normal speakers.
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh.
There we go. That guy has listened to so many bad bass drums. You know, oh, bass. You know, a lot of people think good audio is pumping up the bass. See, like him, who they just pump it up so that the brain's gone afterwards, or their heart syncopates to the bass and then they die. But that's not really good sound. That's having nice syncopation maybe, but it's not the best kind of sound. Reference speakers give you the ability to really hear clearly everything that's going, whether it's music, whether it's voice, meetings. You're going to get a very clear sound, and it won't be distorted. It won't add bass. It won't add treble. You can equalize what you hear, but that'll be within your control, and you will have a very clean sound. Now, you know, Jeff does voiceover, we do voiceover, and we do shows and things like that. And the reference speakers come in real handy when we want to listen to see how clean something is. And people think you have to spend a fortune. At his desk, Harold has a pair of reference speakers. I think they're about $140, $150.
Yeah, I think currently you can get them for about $150 for the pair.
Yeah, and that was the AV42 now?
Well, the ones I'm using are the AV40s. I think those are not available anymore, but you can get the AV42s, which I believe are similar.
And those are from M Audio. And, you know, you listen to them. The music sounds good. Video sounds good. Everything sounds good. And they're not that big. They're literally maybe about 8 inches or 6 inches by, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 inches as well. And they're not that deep. They don't weigh that much, but they give a very good, clean sound. So you don't have to spend a fortune on these. We have in our studio here, we probably can't see it from here, but we've got, what was it, a BS25?
BX5
BX5, I have no idea what we have in here. Yeah. BX5. And those are about $200, $250 each. And those you buy either individually. Sometimes you can get the sales, you get 2 of them. But they give you such a clear sound. When you hear the voice, when you hear everything, you just go, wow, that really sounds good. And you can tell if there's any distortion because it'll pick it up. Jeff, you've got your Yamaha speakers. Those are probably about $200, $250. And again, you get very clear sound when you hear it, right?
Yeah, they're here because I've got those the small ones down the bottom, and I've also got the big ones at the top because I have the big ones on the reference hooked up to the Yamaha keyboard. You know, the music one and the piano because I use a set for them as well. But looking at those speakers, but as I said, there's different qualities. Like the ones Harold had were a little bit cheaper than say the ones you had. But if you noticed, the ones with Harold, one speaker drives the other one, so you connect that. Right. They're good, but not as good as individual driven. Whereas your other M Audio, the one that Rick had, were the individually powered. And same thing with these Yamaha. These are individually powered. But for some people, they don't work because if they don't have the mixer with an XLR out,
right,
or the big.
And that is the only negative to that is, and you don't need a mixer. You need a small USB interface that has XLR or 3/4 inch connector or 1/4 inch connectors. So you do need something that goes into a USB drive as a USB interface so that you can listen to those. And you can get a USB interface for $100. Some of them are pretty good, and you don't need to spend a fortune. I think Scarlett has a 2i2, which is 2 inputs, 2 outputs, and you could put one of those, and I think that's about $100. And you could have a very good sound system on your PC or Mac or whatever you have that really sounds great. And you will hear everybody much clearer. They will hear you very well. They probably won't hear it from your speakers, but you'll feel good knowing that you're putting out very good audio. So they do make a difference.
I'm just amazed at the quality of them, and they're just a pleasure to listen to when you're listening to everything on there. But the sound is so clear, and sometimes I'll switch mine on. I thought, gee, that sounds horrible. What is it? And I've forgotten to switch the mixer on, so I'm going through the speaker, and I thought, oh. And you forget again, but I play everything through those monitors. But the thing is, you can adjust the sound a little bit on there if you to cater for the room size and that. So you can do mild adjustments on there. Yep. But I think most people who would get a good quality reference speaker more than likely would have some sort of mixer. And so the people who probably may not bother too much on that. But it's just another one of those things to hook up into your studio that is really, like I said, people pay a fortune on all their other things, but not on the thing that they'll listen to. Because that sounds great. Like photos. So that looks great, but they're looking on a really rubbishy monitor. And he said, well, you've got to have a decent one so you can see what the norm is, not what you're seeing. And that's the same thing with sound.
Now on the mixer, you've got, and we both have these. We have the Yamaha MG. I think you've got a 12. We've got a 16 and XU. I think you have the XU, right?
Yeah. You've got both. That's both.
You don't have an XU?
Yep, I've got the XU.
Oh, that's what I thought. Yeah, it's that same line. They're really good. There wasn't much of a difference on the 16. I think we got it, but I can't remember why. There was one thing it did a little bit differently than the other one, but I go, okay, so we'll get the 16.
Because Jeff got the 12, so you had to have the 16. That's why.
No, actually, I was looking at the 12, and then I looked at the 16. It wasn't that much more. And we already have, I know what it was. We also have the 16 here we have a Persona Studio Live 16 in this. So I figured, you know what, if we also have a 16, if anything happens to this one, we replace my Yamaha here. Yeah. And that way it's the same. It's an easy swap out. And now, have you noticed there's a quirk to Yamaha on the mixers? At least we found out the other day. It limits you to -3 always. It seems no matter what you do, it's always doing a limiter to -3. And we looked online, and in the forums, people are complaining about that it's always doing -3.
And I was trying to figure out a way to get around this. So I was going to ask you, did you encounter this, and were you able to figure out a way to tell it to not do that?
No, I didn't encounter it, but maybe I'm not using it to that extent that it's becoming a problem. So.
Well, no, also what happens is I never noticed it either. The voice sounds good. So I never noticed that it limited to -3. It sounded perfect. Harold's looking and he's going, wait a minute, you're hitting 0 on Audition on occasion.
Well, he was hitting 0 you were hitting 0 on the mixer itself on its levels, but then in Audition
it was -3.
We weren't able to get past -3.
So it was a little odd. And other people complained about Mac. That, but nobody seems to have an answer to it, and I think Yamaha didn't answer, right?
Not on that forum post that I was looking at.
So just a quirk. It doesn't bother me. It's just a quirk. It's a limiter. And I thought, that's interesting because limiters usually keep you at about -3 because anything past that starts getting on the clippy side and could clip. So not sure. Not sure if anybody has run into that with either the Yamaha or any other mixer. Let us know if you found out why it does that. We have not been able to figure out any kind of internal setting that might cause that. So,
well, I just love my Yamaha mixer. It's the one device I've had in recent years that you've got everything connected, so you're not unplugging this, plugging this back in. It's got everything on it. I can have everything connected up. I'm going to have my digital recorder hooked up to that, and then press a button. It goes through the computer, take the sound from the computer. It's so versatile. It's a bit hard to get your head round at first, but once it's set up, it's so darn easy. And then same as this, I can also, while I'm broadcasting, press a button so I don't get the sound from the computer and still do everything else. Press another one and then get the sound back from the computer through your ears.
And it
So
also,
versatile.
I think the Yamaha also has one really nice thing. It's got nice preamps.
Mm.
And the
Yes.
built-in compressor, that little compressor they build in, sounds good.
Yeah. And I believe XU on this series, it's the X stands for effects and the U is just USB. So
Oh, okay.
these ones
That's
they come with a bank of I think 24 different effects that you can apply to your inputs.
Yep. Anyway, really good
Yeah.
mixers. If you're looking for mixers, I would highly recommend the Yamaha.
Yes. What are you talking about? Okay.
And then also you can do it on the foot switch as well. So
Oh,
you
cool.
can put your foot switch and then you press it
Again,
again.
and then I'll start talking a bit like that. So,
Okay.
offense.
But you can just press it on and off with your foot. So.
That's pretty good. We have effects on this thing. We never really use them.
Yeah, we haven't really tried them out.
Yeah,
on
but
here.
I'd be scared to try them. It would really sound badly out here. Anyway, we did another video this week, so we wanted to share that as kind of a. I don't know if we're final yet. If we're not final, we're close to final. So, Harold, do you want to play the video?
Yeah.
And this one is called Guidance.
Yeah. Let's watch it.
There are many times in one's life where there are choices to be made. The path diverges. Going one way would take us one place, and the other may be somewhere completely different. The choices we make are always difficult, for more often than not, they're not well thought out. We look at one place and think that will be easier, whereas the other selection might be harder. What do? Do we go the easy route? Or do we take the route that may have more challenges, but maybe have better results? That is the question. It is so difficult to figure out what is what. What is at the other end? Is the difficult way the better one? Is the easier one the easier one? Will both ways have nothing? We don't know. That is what we have to figure out. Life is full of bifurcations. Life goes one way, it goes another. Every time we make a choice, we contemplate whether it's the right one or not. We sometimes have a lot of information to justify our decision. Other times we have none. It is merely a matter of guidance. Maybe guidance from within or from without. But somehow, we are led to choose one way or another. And as always, our choices are about 50% correct. It is interesting how life goes. No matter how well we are trained, how well we see things, how well we know what the outcomes could be, we often tend to make the wrong decision. We look at some of the clues, some of the data, but not all. We are also driven by what we feel. And what we feel does not always coincide with what we see, hear, understand, and realize. So the next time you meet a choice in the road, don't think too much. Feel it, understand it, and let yourself be guided. More often than not, the guidance is correct.
Now, in the headset, it sounded like crap, but I was going, well, that sounds so loud, because I'm always hearing it on reference speakers. Sounds good on reference speakers.
Sounded pretty good when we were
Yeah.
listening to this. But, I mean, yeah. These headphones, I mean, these
The earbuds?
earbuds that we're using, they definitely don't have the best sound quality, but you know, they're pretty comfortable, and they're not too you know, visually obtrusive. I mean, you can see a lot of cables here because I've also got the headset mic here, but they're clear and they're pretty.
But even then, Shure have the same sort of ones about $600, and I still can't hear that much difference in them.
No, I used to have the $300 versions of these, and they were good. And then Leslie lost it on an airplane, so I lost those. I got a second pair, and I accidentally stepped on one of them. That was the end of that. I stopped. I said, I'm not buying any more good earbuds. They're not worth it. And they were good, but they weren't that good. And I don't really like having it in the ear to listen to music or stuff. I find it sort of bothersome. I'd rather have the big cans.
That's right. If you want quality when you're listening and want that, the cans are the best ones to use.
Yep.
But as I said, I still don't know. I still can't handle these little ones just for pleasurable listening. I've got to have something a bit comfortable, and then I like to sit down and listen. I've still never been one. I can't walk around and listen to music. I can walk around and listen to talkback or, words and podcasts, but I can't walk around and listen to music. I don't know how people do it, but millions and millions of them do, don't they? So
they do, and they have to be careful because some of them don't. Some of the phones and stuff don't limit your volumes, and you could actually hurt yourself with these things inside the ears. You have to be careful.
But the thing is, it doesn't matter for most people because they end up being killed before the ears will be damaged. They walk in front of cars, they walk off cliffs.
That's true.
It's amazing that there's millions more people don't die because you see every day people just walk across the road these days. It doesn't matter now. Everybody's got to avoid people listening to things. But the amount of people who are listening and looking at the phones when they're walking across the road,
yep,
it's very dangerous. So, like when I listen to anything on mine, I'm listening usually to if I'm listening to talkback on a Bluetooth headset with one ear, just the sound. So I can still hear everything going on, but it's talkback. But I don't. It's not blocking out all the surroundings.
We'll start seeing people that have a second smaller pair of eyes on the top of their head like spiders, so they can watch out while they're.
That's right.
That's funny. So anyway, that's our next video we're publishing, and then we have a third one that's illogical, right?
Yes,
the third one is called Illogical. We'll probably have that next week.
I saw that's all from the video blocks and that, and the Atlas, the sound. So all the video was from video blocks, was it? So
most of it,
quite impressive the quality of it. And I saw on that video as well there was a picture of the current state of all of our shopping centres and airports.
The empty ones.
Yep.
So there was no airport and nobody in the shopping centres.
The empty highway.
Yes. And that's the time I'd love to be able to get. Actually, now I'd love to be able to get out at night in the city with me cameras because there's a curfew just to film the whole city with nothing in it.
That'd be pretty cool. Could you get special permission to do that? No, maybe
not unless you're a proper journalist. If you if you had journalists, you could, but I can't qualify as that. But that'd be lovely just to. Because you won't get that very often, will you? Just a whole city.
That would actually be cool.
It's quite eerie. I love seeing that. It's like the Omega Man, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, God, I remember that movie. That was a good movie.
Yeah, I like that one.
I like it better than the Will Smith one, but it's just... the
Omega Man. I almost forgot about that one. Was he also in THX 1138 or something like that?
Forget that. What was that?
That was similar. I don't remember if he was in that one. He was in Planet of the Apes, which was pretty good. I mean, they were goofy, but they were interesting.
And that was the first film. Planet of the Apes was the first film that Charlton Heston, I think, in his career, was the first film he didn't die in.
No, that's true.
He did in the second version. He did in the second Planet.
The second one.
So Charlton Heston didn't star in THX 1138. That was Robert Duvall.
Robert Duvall. Okay.
But as I said, that was he wouldn't survive these days, Charlton Heston, because it said that everything's sequel. But Charlton Heston's he always died. Nearly all died.
Yep.
If you saw Charlton, so he's going to be dead at the end of it because he always that was his signature tune was being the hero and dying at the end. So.
He was a good actor. I liked him.
Oh yeah.
He went down in the end though because it was a bit of I think with the gun lobby. He was sort of the gung-ho gun lobby president, wasn't he? In the
but that was okay. Remember, a lot of people the majority of Americans have a lot of arms.
I said, but that one, I mean, it wasn't a detriment to him because, as I said, there'd be probably more for him than there would be against him.
Yeah.
But great actor though. I loved all his works.
He was fun. One of the best things I ever saw him in was a play. It was a play with Stephanie Beacham, the British actress, and it was Love Letters. It's a charming play about, and the play is so simple. There's a table, and they're both sitting next to each other, but just a little bit far away, and they are reading the letters they wrote to each other across like 50, 60 years.
That sounds like there was a film that they've probably remade. I think that sounds.
And maybe like I don't know, but it was a play and it was lovely. They made it with young people. It's not the same with young people. You need older actors because it's their whole life, and there's only one interaction when they stop, they look at each other, and then they go back. That's it, and it was just. Really, it was a beautiful play. I think people were in tears when it was over. It was just really nicely done. And he and her, I've got to check to see if it's on YouTube because you can actually go to YouTube and type in Love Letters and you'll see quite a few actors doing it. So if you ever have a chance, put it on your LG and just sit down and watch it. It's really quite lovely.
It's just that word's one of those dangerous words to type in a search engine, though. Love
letters. Yeah, I know. Well, put it in quotes. Love letters. But it was very popular here. We saw it in I think the Beverly Cinema or something like that, the Beverly Theater in Beverly Hills, and it was just a great theater, very very pleasant, and the two actors were great. Just a lot of fun. Stephanie Beacham. Anyway, Harold, anything else?
I think that about wraps up.
I think that's what we had for today. And we actually did our 30 minutes. We did well.
Yes, we talked about reference speakers and that. So what else can we have reference next time? So reference monitors?
Reference monitors. Yeah. Well, yeah, reference monitors are expensive.
That's what really was like. Even when they're not like what's the Apple display? What's that one?
That new one is $5,000.
Oh. And I thought, yeah.
And LG has an equivalent one, and so does Asus. And they're all about $5,000-6,000. It's like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money.
The only thing is with something like a monitor, no matter if you paid $5,000 or $6,000, you can always justify it because you say, I'll look at it all the day long, or something like that.
That is true.
Whereas things you don't use, but you say, hey, I'm looking at this all day long. I'll get the advantage out of it. So you don't like spending that much money for that. It's
well, we could make one comment. Apple's what's it called? Their stock valuation hit $2 trillion the other day.
Oh, is that down? Is it? Oh,
no, it went up $2 trillion. That's the first time in history any company's had a $2 trillion.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Is that all it's worth? Oh, dear, they must be worrying.
I think they are. Yeah, they asked for more Chinese slaves to help build more Apple computers. So,
but actually, as a company, if your company was worth, you would be worried because you thought, well, the only
you're going down.
Way down. They said when you're that good, somebody's after you. So everybody's trying to pull you down. So they said it's because they said, well, where can we go from here?
Oh, how can we a very good book. If you ever want to read a book, you can read it on Kindle or listen on Audible. It is called Life After Google.
All right.
I don't remember the author's name.
Let me check on that.
Harold's checking the author's name.
It is by George Gilder.
That's it, George Gilder. Gilder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, George Gilder. He wrote a book years ago, 20 years ago, Life After TV. Now he's writing one, Life After Google. It's really a good book. I'm about a quarter of the way through it, and it's excellent. Very, very well written. A lot of good information. Goes back in history quite a bit to things like Google. Talks about how they built their data centers. A lot of information. It was really quite fascinating, and where things are going. It's an interesting augur of what's to come, maybe. Life After Google. Definitely check that out. It's on Kindle. It's also on just a book.
Yeah, but it's Audible as well as as well.
And Audible, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've listened to one audio book. It's quite different. I've never done that before, but it's you think it's so much, but it's still quite an effort to go and listen to all of that. Sometimes reading, you find it's a bit easier sometimes, but you think, just listening is much easier. But
unless you find that real good book that you just want to keep getting to the end. So those are different, but some books are heavy. This one's well written, and the guy is a good, it's not him speaking, it's another guy. And this guy's 82 years old, and he wrote this book, and he is sharp as a whistle.
And what I like listening to is because when you listen to them, I'll just listen to all the person doing the voice, and I thought, they've got 6 hours or 8 hours worth of recording, and I thought just the hard work to do it and to sound so natural and to make it sound like all one big story. It's not easy, and I appreciate actors and all that much more these days after doing some voiceovers. Because at least those voiceovers got the script, but I thought actors, you've got nothing. You've got the script, but you've got to memorize it. We can have the script in front of us and still mess up. But I just appreciate.
They mess up too, by the way. They mess up a lot, but they just keep reading. Nothing phases. And
a lot of the time, like you said, when you do a movie, it all goes to plan. They'll probably just rewrite the script to what they said on the
and years ago, I used to direct quite a few voiceover talents where they would come in and we do a lot of VO, and it was fun. There were tons of mistakes, and my job is to stop them. Oh, you know what? Let's read that again, and let's do this. So you know what? Change your tone a little bit because you switched, and so. Most of the time they work on their own, but in the old days we didn't have all the ability to do the internet like we do now, so we had to do it in studio or rent a studio, and so it's a lot more fun now.
It's always the old Benny Hill one where he was doing the voiceover and he goes, "Look ahead," and he said, "You stupid, look ahead." It's not like this. Look ahead. They said it's all in how you say the same words, but it means totally different.
That's funny.
Always remember that when I'm reading, and you just read ahead and you think, because you can make things sound all the same words if you just say it in the wrong way, if you go down at the end or up. And you said, no, there's a full stop, so you've got to it's down.
Down,
But it makes a big difference when you, and as I said, I think I said the other one, you can just make one mistake, and I said the disgusting old men were talking in the corner. It was the distinguished men were talking in the corner.
Yeah,
so it made disgusting. A big difference to the way I said it. The disgusting men were talking in the corner, but no, it was. Then the distinguished men were talking.
Oh, sorry,
in the
I
corner.
missed the look ahead. That's funny. Well, Jeff, hey, have a good weekend. I'll try to give you a call tomorrow if you're around. Well, you have to be around. You can't go anywhere. You're trapped.
I'm allowed out for an hour for walking for the dog, so that's about the only time I get out.
Okay. So I'll try to give you a call tomorrow. I think we're going to be trapped tomorrow, too. I don't think we're going to do much except sleep.
So unless Jeff hears your call and then he goes and leaps into the bushes outside.
Yes.
That's right. But the good thing these days, with your mobile phone, I'll still hear Skype, so I'll catch the call wherever I am anyway. So
that's true.
Well, hey, have a good weekend, and for all you folks watching, we appreciate it. And leave us some feedback if you'd like. We'll respond to it eventually. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye, everyone.